What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. This will be a spoiler-free review for Until Dawn, which is directed by David F. Sandberg. It is co-written by Gary Doberman and Blair Butler. It is starring Ella Rubin, Michael Cimino, Odessa Zion, Ji Young-yu, Belmont Kamel, Maya Mitchell, and Peter Stormare. Now, this is taking place 1 year after her sister Melanie mysteriously disappeared. Clover and her friends head into the remote valley where she vanished in search of answers. They find themselves horrifically murdered, only to wake up and find themselves back at the beginning, trapped in an endless time loop. They're forced to relive the nightmare again, only each time the killer is different, each more threatening than the last, and the only way to escape is to survive until dawn. Oh my God. Until Dawn is one of those films that make the average person step away from the horror genre. It's the perfect example of why this genre is underrated, because every other month or just a few times during the year, we get misfires like this abomination released for public consumption. Stepping away from the game story was a big mistake. Even if it does connect, it's a connection that I'll do my best to forget, as I'm sure many of you will. Until Dawn is the worst horror movie to be released theatrically this year. And unless Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is willing to take its spot later this year, I think it's going to stay that way. In an effort to be its own thing, Until Dawn looks like the goof in class that had the cheat sheet and still walked away with an F for a final grade. This movie wanted to be Racka so bad that comment will make a lot more sense when you see it, which is ironic considering that they know how to make a good horror movie. If you've seen Talk to Me and know how brilliant that movie was, maybe you don't think it's brilliant. But yes, Until Dawn is the abysmal travesty many of us expected it to be. Again, it's set a year after her sister Melanie went missing. We're with this young woman, Clover, who is our lead. She's been battling deleting herself and depression, decides to go looking for her sister Clover with the help from her friends Max, Nina, Megan, and Nina's boyfriend Abel. The group wind up at this bed and breakfast looking place, and before they can get back in their car and go home, a death loop has trapped them. A new threat comes knocking each night, but you have to ask this question while you're watching. How many times can they keep doing this before it's too late? Now, the writers have done nothing to get you to care about these people or the thought of none of them making it out alive. Clover's situation is sad, but her struggles are mostly spoon-fed to us with little time given to relate to her. Any opportunity to care about this group existed during their car ride, and that's squandered by asinine conversations and the introduction of Dr. Hill. The most we get is Max is Clover's ex. Nina doesn't know how to keep a man or a woman, I guess. And Megan has some sort of gift. Nina at one point makes it clear how much the others mean to her, but Until Dawn never allows the audience to experience this connection. We're expected to latch on to these complete strangers just cuz. This decision resulted in empowering scenes falling flat later on. Abel is the most unlikable of the group, which makes his presence on screen insufferable at every turn. Having a poor group of protagonists was just strike one. Until Dawn was determined to get worse. It's jump scare palooza. Yes, if memory does serve me correctly, I hear you. The game is filled with jump scares as well. But the difference here is earned versus unearned. This movie never earns its jumps. It's just jump after jump after jump until the formula is so familiar you are desensitized. We are thrusted into this death loop with a list of questions that keep piling, and most are never answered. The characters speak in a way that feel like they are desperately trying to sell you on how scary this situation is, almost as if they don't buy it themselves, and it sucks away any chance of genuine terror settling in. Another thing that takes away from it is the death loop itself. Since the death loop kind of guarantees they're going to keep coming back, so why should I give a damn that they're getting closer to being dead for good when ultimately you're not taking any risk by them constantly coming back anyway? But the writing just kept getting worse. And as mentioned earlier, some of the dialogue is just simply unbearable. Countless state the obvious lines. Ill-timed humor. The humor is ill-timed mostly because you haven't even done a good job selling me on the terror of it all. At one point, one friend calls a threat an a-hole, and at another time shouts F you for some strange reason. Then later on combines those playground level insults into fuck you asshole. It was comedic for the wrong reasons. Finding Melanie seemingly became an afterthought when it became clear what had happened to her, yet the characters still haven't acknowledged it as a possibility until we get this moment that's made to be this big revelation, and it's like we already knew this. We already knew this. So there's this disconnect created between viewer and character where I'm waiting for them to sit down in the thinking chair like Blue's Clues told us to and just think. Just think, the answer to what happened to Melanie was right there. I will give the screenplay props for having some gnarly gore sequences, head smashings, explosions, and lots of unnerving body horror stuff. Now, those aspects were unsettling. It's the biggest strength for this screenplay, if I'm being quite honest. Again, I will end it talking about this, the screenplay aspect anyway. If Until Dawn were a Raka Raka video, I'd give it a 10. If it were just a straight Raka Raka video, I would have given it a 10 just for those gore sequences. Now, Ella Rubin and Odessa Zion do what they can. Shout out to them for making the best of a shit sandwich. Maya Mitchell is great for what little screen time she had, but Michael Cimino, who plays Max, has absolutely zero chemistry with Rubin. Their exchanges come off very forced, very awkward, and I was not vibing with that. His delivery is also the worst of the group as well, and I feel like I've seen him deliver better performances in the past. This movie is just, I want to erase it from my memory. I don't want to watch it again. I don't plan on watching it again. If you've been listening so far, I probably made you laugh a few times, hopefully. But yeah, that is how I feel about Until Dawn. The way it's paced, I don't think it's paced all that well, to be quite honest. It's moving so fast. It doesn't give you any time to really digest or consume what's transpiring on screen. The opportunities it has to build up some real suspense, especially with that slasher, they just come and go. It's a blur. It's a blah movie. It's so bad. I want to say I give this a 3.5 out of 10. I'm probably going to shoot it lower since I know that Snow White film has a 1 out of 10. You guys are way off with that. This movie has a better argument to be a 1 out of 10, and even I'm not going to shoot it that low. This movie I would give a 3.5 out of 10. Some of the camera tricks or some of the camera shots in the film, like some of the transitions, those were cool. I would give it that. Some of the camera work is fine in terms of cinematography. I love the differentiations and the different hue colors of red and blue that were in certain sequences. That was cool too. But other than that, no, this is not it. You had the cheat sheet. You decided not to follow it. You fucked around. You found out. And I'm certain a plethora of other bad reviews are about to pile on top of this film. What is it? It's got like a 40-something on Rotten Tomatoes. That's probably gonna go down even further, as it deserves to. You know, I don't know why they differentiated from or deviated from the original story so much. Again, it's connected, but the connections are things that fans of the game like me are probably going to want to forget. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications, you never miss a video. In the description, I have links to my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there to let me know any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.